Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new edition, wow, of Message of Hope. And today I have the pleasure to be with Alan Combies, who is also a 3P coach, transformative coach based in Los Angeles. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Martine. Nice to
Thank
be
you for
here.
being here. Thank you for accepting to be here.
It's my pleasure.
And I will ask you the same question that I've been asking everyone is that how does having this understanding, the way we human works, how does that help you navigate whatever problems, stress, anxiety, lockdown, whatever you see it at the moment? How does that help you knowing how people work?
It's helped me tremendously, honestly. It's been, I think back to when all of this started occurring, when all the pieces started falling um, and it, just progressed from one thing to the next. Initially, there was a lot of confusion. There was a lot of, um, I don't know if I should say a lot of anxiety, but there was anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of emotions and feelings and confusion, as I'm sure a lot of people have experienced. But I think the way that my understanding of the three principles has really served me has been really to sort of be able to sit back and watch that happen, like watch my experience unfold. And I I like to surf when I can, and so the metaphor or analogy of surfing, it really speaks to me. Like when it comes to our experience and how we feel the power of thought from moment to moment. For me, the more I understand how that works, the the better I can ride those waves of experience, right? Of thought. And just like with surfing, there's the more you understand the ocean, the more you understand the mechanics of it, the better experience you're going to be. And it doesn't mean you're not going to wipe out. you know, you're going to, as Sid would say, you're going to take your knocks. And the same goes with life. But one of the powerful things about surfing in the ocean is that when you do wipe out, the tendency for someone who's not used to that is to really struggle and to fight against it. And you're fighting against something that, a very powerful force. The ocean is, drastically more powerful than us weak little humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as you're getting tossed around, the tendency is to want to, again, to struggle and fight and claw and do all of these things. But of course, doing that actually makes things worse because you're expending energy, you're expending breath. And the more you do that, the more dangerous it becomes. And so the key in that situation is to relax. It's to let the ocean have its way with you for the time being. And of course, eventually it settles and you bob to the surface and you get your breath. And so that really serves me, thinking about it that way, because there are definitely times now in the beginning of the whole pandemic, the waves were pretty strong, and I was going through a lot of ups and downs. But to be able to again understand what was happening and sort of relax into it, my experience of it became more smooth. And now, of course, uh, I'd say it kind of went like this in the beginning, and now it's more subtle, more smooth. I'm wiping out less, and really riding the waves with more efficiency and grace, as George Pransky would say, right? So to answer your question more succinctly, it's helped me tremendously. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for stumbling onto this, uh, gosh, probably like 10 years ago. And I'm a slow learner. 10 years ago, I heard something and it really impacted me. But then I sort of put it aside. And thanks to a lot of teachers and trainers that you and I both have experienced, I've been able to rediscover it and dive back in. And it has really had the biggest impact on my experience of life. And I think it actually has prepared me for this. It's prepared me to be able to handle things. Now, my life is not going exactly how I would think it would go, but that is part of this understanding. It's having that flexibility and knowing that uh, it's that false sense of control. And if we can let go of that and just do our best to have the experience and of course do our best to enjoy the experience, um, or at least ride the wave of that experience, right? Then the overall better experience of life we're going to have. And while things don't look the way I would think they would have looked right now, I'm doing okay. Like there's a serendipity that seems to happen. And I don't know if that's, three principles or what, but it really seems to me like I'm taken care of. There's things that have fallen into place that I didn't think would happen. And so I've got a roof over my head. I've got, food in the fridge. And like I said, things have been taken care of. So it just seems to me that the three principles has allowed me to relax into the moment and into my experience. And that allows me to see the abundance of resources that I have all around me, as we all do. We all do. And that's invaluable. I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, like you said, this navigating through all those challenges with grace, knowing that it's not personal.
Yeah.
And what we resist persists usually. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That thing, that not being personal, that's a big one. I was just reflecting this morning, and I kind of saw that with new eyes this morning. We take thought so personally, and it's really, like I said, it kind of hit me big. So this is fresh for me, but you just reminded me of it, how impersonal thought really is. Like I've heard that before, but I really saw it this morning. And like thought happens, it just happens.
Mm.
And so the deeper we understand that, the more grounded we are in that understanding that thought is not personal, the more we can fall back into who we really are and recognize that in every moment we're okay, despite our circumstances, despite the onslaught of thought and feeling. We're okay.
Yeah, we have what, 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Good luck trying to manage them. No.
Exactly. that's not the way I want to spend my day.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
because
better
by the
things to
time
do.
we're aware of them, it's already been through the system. It's over.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. Like you said, what resists persists. I think so much of our struggle as humans is not letting ourselves move through the experience. And we think we need to do something about it. We think we need to we wrestle with it, and we just try to manipulate it. And
Paddle
in so
against the current.
doing, yeah. And in so doing, we're simply giving it more of our attention and awareness, which of course just makes it bigger than it just, consumes us or has the potential to. So really, I see that as well. Like on a biological level, it makes sense to me that if we allow the feelings to move through us, we're allowing ourselves to process that experience. We send a signal to our, amygdala or whatever, that we're we're okay, that there really is no immediate threat. There is no tiger jumping out of the bushes or whatever. It's thought. It's thought. That's it. Sometimes I think that, evolution wise, of course, this fight or flight system really, really served us for obvious reasons, because we used to be more in tune with our environment. We used to have to know the weather because the crops, and be aware of any animals that might impinge on us or any kind of threats. Now we have so much taken care of for us that I think we just turn inside and we get all consumed with the mental movies and pictures and feelings and everything else. But our bodies don't know the difference,
Doesn't
obviously.
know the difference at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the more we understand that, the less we have to take all this seriously. And I think finding ways to be more present, I don't know, that's kind of moving into a technique, but I think we all could be more aware of our environment, more appreciative of our environment. Um, just taking the time to witness the magic all around us, and connect with people. I gotta say, one of the blessings of doing this work is, when coaching people, really settling into that deep connection. Uh, it's invaluable because I know, like I still, in between coaching sessions, I get up in my head and I get lost in thought, and, I run around and, forget where I put my keys or get caught up in a news story, or, you know, we're all human. We go through it.
Mm.
But to be able to fall back into the truth of how our experience is created and who we really are. Um, what, I mean, I'm really getting a feeling of hopefulness right now, because what an amazing thing to be able to know that you can fall back into that in any given moment. Like it's right there for us always. And I can't think of anything more hopeful than that. No matter what we're going through, no matter how dire our circumstances look, to know that we have, you know, I used to say, I've said this before, I don't think I've mentioned it in a long time, but trust falls, when you kind of fall back and you
Yeah.
expect someone to catch you.
Yeah.
It seems to me like life is this trust fall, and yet when we're falling, we're at times when we get up in our heads, we scratch and we claw and we try to, just like the surfing analogy, right? Or metaphor, we're trying to grab something even though there's nothing to grab. And so the more we fight and struggle, the more convoluted our experience becomes. But if we just relax, we might realize that we think we're falling, but actually we're being carried. We're being carried through life. And once again, I think the more we can sort of hang our hat on that, so to speak, like really rely on that, um, overall, the more pleasant experience we're going to have of life in general.
Unless we resist.
Yeah, it really comes down to that.
It's like the Borg.
The what?
Resistance is like the Borg. Resistance is
Yes,
futile.
it really
I,
is. I mean, you can resist all you want, if you want to have that
yeah.
experience, but really understanding that you have a choice, I think that's That's big time.
Yeah. Yeah. We are taken care of and usually carried to something better.
Yeah. And it's easy for us to say that, but, I think you and I can say it from a place of like, we've experienced it. Right.
Mm.
And I think everybody that's listening to this has experienced it. But if we can help point them back to um, being aware that life is taking care of them. I think the challenge is when we do get through stuff, we kind of just go, oh, or we take credit for it. Like our egos take credit for it. It's like, oh, that was a close one. I didn't think I'd be able to get through that talk, but thank goodness I'm smart and I was able to get through it. But most likely what happens is when we get in those situations, we get tied up in knots, and then we at some point have to let go. We have to let go. And when we let go, we're letting life take over. And we've all done that. You and I and everybody listening to
Mm-hmm.
this has had that happen. And the reason I know that is true is because if they didn't, they wouldn't be here. Right? The thing that keeps us alive through all the ups and downs of life is that life has got us, and sometimes I think of it as like an escape valve, because we can, with our personal minds, we can really create a lot of tension and stress and pressure. But then at some point, who we really are and says, no, that's enough, releases the valve, and we let go, even if it's just for a little bit, even if it's just a crack in the door to let sunlight in. That can be what we need to make it through to the next moment and the next.
Well, thank you very much, Alan, for your time and wisdom. And if people want to get in touch with you, where can they find you?
The easiest place is my website. It's alancombies.com, ALANCOMBIES.com. And easiest thing to do is just sign up for a free 30-minute chat. I love meeting new people and chatting with people. There's no strings attached, of course, but we can meet and talk and see if coaching is right for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.